Hello everyone, welcome back. So I just finished the video for Contrela. So now I'm going to talk on should you pull for Brant or no. So as usual, let's break down his kit so that we can know clearly that should you pull him or not. So let's look at his kit. Let's look at his normal attack first. So Brant have 4 consecutive attacks dealing fusion damage, and he also got 2 types of heavy attack, which is normal one and the one which is called as Rhapsodic Rift. So how to activate that is by if you do stage 2 or stage 4 basic attack and you hold attack, it will become heavy attack Rhapsodic Rift. Or another way is to activate the heavy attack is through mid-air attack stage 4. So let's look at his mid-air attack. So his mid-air attack have a lot of wording, so let me summarize it for you. So his mid-air attack stage 1 and 2 will target with a grapple. And then one thing to note is that if you release, it will do flip backwards. That means he will do a black flip, to be honest. And then if you hold it, he will do a continuous attack. And one thing to note is that after his mid-air attack stage 3, he will automatically flip backwards. But if you press normal attack after each flip, he will then perform next stage of mid-air attack. And one more thing you have to note is that when you flip, it will reset your dodge attempts. That means after every flip, you can continuously dodge the enemy's attack. This is one of the greatest ability if you ask me, but it all depends on how you play him. So next you want to know is that there's 2 things that you have to note, which is when the mid-air attack stage 1 does not reach the enemy, then he will do a forward slash. But if it's reached the enemy, but the attack fails to hit the target, then he will drop down after a temporary suspension and mid-air. So his kit feels a bit weird to read, but when you play him, it's actually not that difficult. It's just that the wordings here a bit, I don't know, it's like a bit too wordy, but if you play him, it's not that difficult. So I already explained his normal attack, and let's look at his resonance skills. He got 2 types, which is Anchors Away and Plunging Attack. Anchors Away is when you do not have full Bravo. Bravo is forte. So you see here, he can hold up to 100 and you activate Bravo by doing normal attacks or intro skill or resonance skill. So if you do not have a full Bravo, then your Anchors Away will replace with Plunging Attack. So what does Plunging Attack do is that your basic attack will do the same as this, the normal attack here, what I read just now. So if you dash forward using your grapple and you fail to reach, you will do forward slash. If you go forward and you reach your target but you do not hit your target, then you will fall down. But one thing to note is that the difference between this basic attack and this is that this one, after you reach, you do your slash forward, you can still press your normal attack to do your plunging attack. Same goes for this. After you miss your attack, you still can do normal attack, then you can plunge. So that's the only difference between this normal attack and the normal attack when you are in plunging attack state. So that's the only difference between these 2. So next, let's look at his Fortress kit. So this is the part where people always get mad about his kit, because if you look here, he have 150 energy regen. So for every 1% after this, you will gain 12 points of attack for up to 1560. I already did the calculation. So you need extra 130 energy regen to reach 1560, because 1560 divided by 12 equals to 130. So that means in total you need 280% of energy regen, which is extremely high if you ask me. That's why many people say Brant is not good when he was released. But after he was released, many people like his playstyle, and also his weapon gives you about 70% of the energy regen. So you don't have to worry, you can actually build that 280%. Or if you can stay at 270, you will be missing just a slight attack. So it's not a bad amount of loss if you ask me. But it all depends on the player who want to min-max their damage. So next, he also heals the nearby resonator in the team when his Bravo reach 25, 50, 75 and 100. His Bravo it have 4 stacks, which is each represents 25 stacks. So 25, 50, 75 and 100. So that's the meaning of these wordings. So next is he returns from ashes. So when Bravo is full, when you have 100, then his resonance skill Anchors Away will be changed into return from ashes. So he will consume all your Bravo and he will give you a shield for the entire team. So another thing to note is that when you are in a flame mode, this will end the return from ashes. The flame mode I will explain after this. So one thing to note is that the shield cannot be transferred when the resonator on the field is switched off. So you have to take this note. So the Bravo things I already explained. So let's look at this Rerun skill. So this gives more healings, and this gives you more fusion damage bonus. And one thing to note is that when you are in mid-air, you cannot be interrupted. He has a higher chance, he can be interrupted, but the resistance is increased. So it doesn't say here he is immune to interruption, it just say increased. So that means there is a chance you can get interrupted. So take that in note. So for the resonance liberation, this is where he will enter the F-Flame state. So what does F-Flame state does is that when you are graining Bravo in normal mode, it will be a bit slower, but after you use your resonance liberation, when you use normal attack or resonance skill and cause away, you will gain it 100% more faster. So another thing to note is that his theoretical moment will be changed to my moment. So what does it does that? Same calculation. It gives you more attack based on your energy region. That means 2600 divided by 20 is 130%, which is 280 if you total up with this original energy region. 150% plus 130 is 280%. So this is where people get mad, which is the loss of the attack from here and here. But don't worry, if you have his signature weapon, then it should be no problem. But the problem only arises if you do not have his signature weapon, which I understand. So sometimes players can get angry with this kind of kit, to be honest. So next we talk about the intro skill. For the intro skill, when he attack the target, he deal fusion damage and also gain interlude applause. So what is interlude applause is that when the next mid-air attack begins, it will start from stage 2. So it's easier to start your combo. Another thing to note is that when he lands early or switch out, then this effect will end. And this is the most important part of his kit. He is one of the core members of the Mono Fusion team. And why? Because he gives resonators fusion damage 20% more. And also the resonance skill damage is increased by 25% for 14 seconds. So that's why he is also used in the Mono Fusion team as the main damage dealer too. So we have already covered his abilities. Now let's look at his resonance chain. So you have him, so do you want to pull more chains for him? Let's look at it. So for me, I think S1 is extremely important because it gives you interruption. It can give you stagnation. Stagnation means freeze your enemy, so it is really useful in whimpering waves. Other than that, you also can do extra 60% damage, which is a good thing if you use your mid-air attack for each flip. For its S2 is the where I think the most value holds. You know why? Because first it gives you crit when you use your mid-air attack and return from ashes. Next, when the outro skill will gain a new enhancement, which is when resonance skill you cast by incoming resonator. That means a new resonator enters the field, they use the resonance skill, they hit target within 20 seconds after Brant's outro skill. That means after you outro from Brant, they use their resonance skill. This will deal 440% of Brant's attack. This is extremely good for the Mono Fusion team because you will quick swapping among themselves. So the more you quick swap and use the resonance skill, the more damage he will do. And you see here, it can trigger up to 2 times. So make sure that you have him at S2 if you want the optimum damage for free-to-play players. But if you don't want, then you can stop at S1. But S2 is the best stopping point for Brant. So for his third one, I don't really think this is that much of an improvement. Of course, 42% is big, but I say S2 gives more value. So for S4, if you want more sustainability and healing for your team, then you should stop at S4. You are someone that have skill issue and you want to improve your healing and shielding, then S4 is the one you should stop. But if you're already at S4, I think it's better you should just go for S5 and S6 because S5 give you more basic attack damage, and for S6 it increases your mid-air attack damage by 30% and it deals 30% fusion damage when you use returns from ashes. For me, the S6 is okay, it's not as broken as some other characters, but for me the best point to stop is either S2 if you want more damage, and if you want more sustainability, stop at S4. For his weapon, it's quite good if you ask me, because you need to build him to 130 energy region. So this weapon, if you see its stats, let me check its stats. If you look its stats, it gives you 17% at rank 1, but at rank 5 it gives you around 70%, which is crazy if you ask me. See here? Sorry, it gives you 77% at rank 5. This is where the main problem starts. If you didn't pull his signature weapon, then his damage will feel a bit lackluster. So many people complained him when he was first released, but now he is having his rerun. So if you want to pull for him or his signature weapon, this is the greatest time to do so. But the question now is, should you pull or not? In my opinion, if you have a mono fusion team with Lupa and Changli, then you should pull Brant because he's the main sub DPS or DPS in that team. But if you do not have a mono fusion team, then I will suggest that you can skip this character and move on for 2.6, where we have a new DPS Electro character, Augusta, and a healer and buffer Luno, which is more important if you ask me. Support characters hold more power in this game compared to DPS character, but as usual, pull who you want. Thanks for watching my video. Peace out.